Hey guys, and oh boy, we're gonna be looking at a video which I'm actually very scared of. Generally, I'm always scared to actually look at BTS videos. I think they're very harsh in case you recommend any of the videos being bad. Guys, for anyone who's new to the channel, I'm not here to bash BTS or the member. I will always talk about the production value itself in the sense of who are the people behind the scenes, how are the camera angles, how is the editing, are there things that are unneeded, and basically give my own touch to it because I've worked on my own projects, and I always think that these kind of videos are a good source of inspiration because I like to improve my skill set as well. And how can you do it better than just be looking at other people's productions? Whether it is a BTS video or just a low production video, there's always something small you can learn, and that is what we're going to analyze today. And before we get into the video itself, guys, if you got any videos you want me to analyze in the near future, whether it is BTS or any other music video that you have in mind, then put it in the comments below. I would love to see what you have. And a lot of people actually ask me like, hey, can you actually go over some editing courses with us? And yes, I am going to go into live streaming editing courses again. I used to do it a few weeks ago, but I think it's nice to pick this up again because I have a few more viewers and I think you guys will be interested in learning the basics and actually understand like, how do I edit? What is my process? What are we looking at? Color grading a little bit and actually move forward like this. But let's not waste any more time and let's jump right into BTS and Fire. Small little note, I am happy I got YouTube Premium now because I didn't want to show you guys any ads. I think ads are really abysmal, especially when you're doing reviews. So I got YouTube Premium for you guys and it is really not that bad. I'm happy that I don't have any ads anymore popping up on my screen. I remember 2 years ago, by the way, and this is a bit of a fun fact, every time I saw the Big Hit Entertainment startup, I knew that Big Hit was a massive group. I thought BTS was a massive group, which they are. And I always knew that whenever you hear this melody, this little startup to any song, you knew that there was going to be a high production behind it. So I was always hyped when I saw this production entertainment name popping up. And let's see what they actually did with Fire. I just want to say from my point of view, I don't know what happened in the background here when they set up this entire scene, but basically what I don't understand is that they're just mumbling amongst each other. Like, I don't know if this is Korean, but I don't really think this is Korean because it just sounds like, you know, kind of in the background and they're just saying things. And it seems a little bit forced. It doesn't seem really relaxed. Like when I look at Stray Kids, for example, they always seem like they're in their natural habitat, as if they were friends amongst each other, and they're just filming this. And it just looks, for example, a little bit better. This just seems a little bit too forced. Here, for example, maybe that is Korean. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems a little bit unrelaxed. Very nice pull focus on here. You can see that the focus on the shot is that it's first on the BTS members, and then it's going to focus on this particular new, I don't know what he is, if he's a god or a mobster, I'm not really sure, but it's a very nice effect. Very small detail, but great. Very nice editing, very simple, but it just adds a little bit more to the storytelling. Over the fence, landing on the floor. Very nice and very dynamic. I like it. And for anyone who's interested, I did watch this video many times because I really enjoyed the song. But today we're going to analyze it a little bit more from my director's point of view, like if there is anything that I would change, and explain you guys any of the effects in case I see any. Very nice slow build up. Ooh. Okay, I saw it. Okay, I want to go back to it again. So when I was watching this video a long time ago, I always thought there was not a practical effect. I thought this was CGI, the fire on the jacket. But I don't know if you guys can see it. But if you look at this jacket carefully, you can kind of see that there's this gelatin on his jacket. Meaning this is a fireproof jacket. And I most likely think this was a failed ignition, meaning there's like a spark or something that should go off and ignite this fire from the bottom, and that's why you only see a bit of smoke, which doesn't go on fire. But you can see that there is another source right here of a little bit of fire going to put this entire jacket on fire basically. And you can also see it on the color difference. You can literally see that the fire will not spread more than you see a little bit more highlighted here. You see, it's exactly on this fire gelatin. I don't know what the specific term is here, but I've seen this multiple times in effect. Really nice shots. I really like how the camera moves with or against the members itself. I think this is very dynamic and it's just very interesting to look at. And on top of that, they keep all the members in shot. I think, like I say many times, if you do something with groups, make sure that the entire groups are visible in all the choreographies, because it just looks 1,000 times better. And I think this is the key to a successful, well, music video, especially in K-pop. Here again, you can see basically here the gelatin on top of him. This is the stuff that you can rub on and it goes on fire. And you can also see that he's hiding his hands actually, because this is real fire and you don't want to burn the hands basically. For example, here you do not see the hands. This is all precautions. I've seen this before and I think it's interesting to look at. It's just a very cool effect. I think this, to be honest, is a little bit of an unneeded scene. One sec. For example, this mini second, I don't know what it's supposed to create, but it doesn't add too much to the scene itself. I would have started with this one and then jumped back into this. Also, a little bit of a fun fact I just want to share with you guys. When I'm here basically, I keep hearing, when I wake up in my room, my mother walked in, and now I understand that this is not English, this is Korean. I don't know what it means, but I always thought when I'm in my room, my mother walked in. It's just, once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Like for example here again, you can see how the camera angles moves with the members. It's just spot on and it looks really good. It's a very in-your-face kind of video. A little bit of Eminem vibe, if you can say it like that. And here we have another effect. You can literally see that this is a real bicycle because the smoke is just too real. This is not fake. But I always wondered, how did they pull this off without anyone being on it? And if you look at it itself, you can clearly see that you don't see the floor. So I think that this bike is on a, what do you call it, a little wagon or something, where there are two motors spinning the wheels, making it look like it's biking through this small little alley. And also you do not see the floor once again, so basically everything could look lifted a little bit. So basically it looks like the bike is actually not on a wagon but actually on the floor. Kind of cool, very interesting. And it's a good thing that they actually ignored the floor, because it would have given it a way to see how this all was functioning. But it's a really cool practical effect. You have to think about all the elements when you do anything like this. Again, a practical effect. I think this is so cool. You can see they had big budgets. I mean, there's nothing cooler about just dropping a car with spray paint. Like, let's look at the condition of the car before it falls. Like, I'm curious if it was actually in good condition or not. Okay, you can kind of see that the car was broken already, so they most likely just took a cheaper car that they found in a scrapyard. They banged it up a little bit, did some spray paint on it. I mean, I think that is Bangtan Boys. No, that's BTS stands for. Kind of cool, but it just looks awesome because the car itself is an S-Class from, I think, 2005, and it is an expensive car back then, but it's cool that they make it drop and make it look like it's going to get destroyed more, but it was already destroyed. Cool. I love that they just have so much budget. Very nice little effect, by the way, on the floor. I'm happy that they added a bit of water and added a bit of a reflection to the floor. This is basically an element that extends the entire stage itself a little bit more in the reflection zone, and then just makes everything look a little bit dynamic. You just don't only see them move here, you can also see them move in the puddle. I really like this kind of simple effects, and it's nothing too expensive. It's just adding a little bit of water on the floor, making sure that it's 100% still and it looks super cool. And the cutting is really spot on here. little bit of an interesting fact. I always thought that he was playing a game here, but if you look at the effects itself, this is nothing more than where they have filmed in the past, so basically the previous scene. And normally what production companies do, they kind of make animations to simulate how a scene is supposed to look like. And this is what most likely they are simulating here, that he's not really playing a game, but they just use the simulation footage to make it look like a game, because these are very... the shapes are always like polygons, looks like a game, but it's super cool to look at that they used the simulation for the shot before everything was filmed, the pre-production, but super, super, super cool actually to see it. Kind of cool. Burn it up, and then first you have no fire, but when he says burn it up, the fire goes on. Really, really cool. Like, it's just focusing on the details a little bit and adding a little bit of dimensions to the entire scene as well, and not only on the members. The entire scene is always important to setting a story. Like, if it was more like this at the very beginning, it would have been, I think, a touch better, because you can kind of see that most likely they're more in their element. I always think that always happens, that the first hour in a shoot is always terrible. But once you get into the zone and everyone becomes comfortable, everything just looks a little bit better. And this is, I think, what happened here as well. People are becoming more comfortable and they understand what's happening, and therefore they're more relaxed. So a small tip from my side actually, if you do decide to film with people, do a few pre-runs, get them into the mood, get them a little bit more relaxed so everything is a little bit more chilled, and then start your real production. Of course, film everything, because you never know if you need it or not, but just keep that in mind, that it always takes a little bit of work in to get people going into any type of production. I love that everything is just a practical effect here. It's fantastic. I mean, it's a very simple thing again. They're trying to be like DJs here, which is a little bit silly, but I remember like in 2016, there was a big hype, you know, becoming a DJ. You know, there were a lot of DJs that were born during this time basically and got really big. So it's kind of cool that they implemented it. But I love, instead of using these CDJs from Pioneer, which are the mixers, they basically used things that look like it. I love it. And they mixed it up with fire. Super, super cool. And they kept it to a very practical effect, which I think is just fantastic to look at. Like, that's what I think is just great so far about the entire video itself, that if you look at it, everything is practical. If you look at the locations again itself as well, they are nothing too weird or too crazy, but they do add a lot of practical effects to it that looks or makes everything look so much better than what it is. And that's something that just takes a lot of balls to do. Actually, you need a lot of effort, because for me, making something look boring, something interesting, is a really tough job. You can't just say, okay, I'm just going to throw a big car in the scene and then everything will be better. No, everything has to play a big part, and they did a fantastic job in this video. Super, super nice so far. Very nice effect actually, that they gave someone a, where is it? They gave him water to throw around. I think water is just one of those elements, just makes all the lighting, all these different effects so much better. Because again, it's a practical element and it has a very natural way of reflecting light, which it's really hard to pull off a CGI. And if you have water anyway, just throw it. Let them have a little bit of fun. Be a little bit crazy on scene. And I love that it's so many people. You know, because of Corona, I kind of miss going to events like this. So this is just a little bit nostalgic. I know it's been nearly a year or two. What is it now? 1 year since Corona is there. A little bit crazy at the moment that we just miss these kind of events. Ooh, super cool. This was all one shot basically. So do you see here that there is no extra members? There is no extra dancers. And it's very nice that most likely what happened here is they said, hey, we're going to focus on you right now. So basically we're going to pan the camera down, make sure that everything in the background is invisible for the time being. As we see here, the focus is purely on him. And then it's always a continuous shot, and then boom, we have all these additional dancers, which is just fantastic. And it's also very interesting that they're already wearing a mask prior to Corona, but this again is a very Asian thing to do, so not really a big shock. But guys, it's also a good example. If you do go outside and you meet other people, wear a mask. Do it. BTS did it since 2016, so what stops you? I mean, again, they use these special lights, well, it's basically spotlights, to extend the members' shadows in the background to make the scene even look bigger than what it is. Like, if you think about how simple all of this is, they made it so much better with just practical effects. Really, really cool. Really good. Like, look at the amount of casting that they did here. Great. How's the ending shot? I'm really curious. I mean, they did a fantastic job. And it continues even? Okay, very quickly. Really cool. Like, if you look at all these elements, it looks like they just shot all of this in one location, a warehouse somewhere where they could film outside and inside. Amazing. Just super, super, super cool. So yeah, guys, that was BTS with Fire. And I just want to say, damn, this is one of those classic videos that I will always keep in mind for inspiration. You can really see that without any crazy CGI effects or any real special effects, you can create an amazing video. It's all just pure creativity and trying to make sure that everything just kind of has a role and everything just looks good. I mean, from 2016, I got introduced to this video in around 2018 when I flew to Japan, and my god, ever since I watched it for the first time, it was stuck in my head, and that only means one good thing, that this video is a solid 10 out of 10. I mean, BTS, some of your videos, in all honesty, are very plain and simple, but when you do your videos, your production team really understands that they can do anything they want in any location without any real big budget restraints. And that is one thing that you notice with BTS. They have big budgets to do whatever they want. But even here, it's not as if they destroyed a very new car. They destroyed something that was most likely already destroyed, and they just dropped it down. This is nothing too expensive. You know, you can get a really destroyed car at a scrapyard for what, $1,000? That looks okay, that might look kind of expensive. You can spray paint on it, and it doesn't really break too much buck. Of course, if you want to get a crane to drop it, that is a different thing, of course. But what did you think of BTS and Fire? Is this one of those videos that you like? What do you think of the song? Tell me in the comments below. And like always, guys, if you did enjoy the video, please make sure you like the video and make sure you subscribe to support the channel. And I'm always looking forward to see any of your recommendations in the comments below. So catch you in the next video. And guys, thank you very much, and I love to see you soon again. Bye bye.